This is Rummy's Corner. Saturday night from the Pyramids of Giza, in a heavyweight championship bout that was available on DAZN, heavyweight world champion Oleksandr Usyk defended a portion of his crown against heavyweight kickboxing champion Rico Verhoeven. The expectation going into this one was that Rico is a boxing novice who was no match for Usyk whatsoever. Sure, the guy was good at kickboxing, but kickboxing and boxing? They are two different things completely. Rico only had one professional boxing match, more than a decade ago, against no one of note. And this wasn't just Rico testing the waters at heavyweight against some run-of-the-mill ranked contender. He was going up against the one and only Oleksandr Usyk, an undefeated two-division undisputed champion, arguably the very best pound-for-pound boxer in the world. Right out of the gate, Rico utilized an extremely awkward style with a lot of awkward movement. That awkwardness served him well, as Usyk had a new type of puzzle before him, and solving it didn't prove easy. Rico's awkwardness came with its fair share of sneakiness, which provided Usyk some difficulty. His mesmerizing, unorthodox rhythm was troubling enough, but Verhoeven was also extremely active to the point it looked as if he were using a lot of wasted movement that was unwisely draining him of energy. But Rico delivered in terms of bringing the unexpected into the squared circle, and he did well throughout the first 3 rounds of the fight. Usyk began settling in better in the 4th, and at that point it appeared that Usyk was beginning to loosen up and find his groove, and it also felt like Rico's fast pace might eventually catch up with him. Verhoeven is known for having tremendous stamina in his discipline, but again, two different things completely. Knowing that kickboxers generally fight 3 or 5 rounds, I figured his gas tank would begin to empty quickly with each passing round, and that Usyk's superior conditioning would become a key difference maker the later it went. But that never really happened. Usyk never really seized the momentum from Rico, and amazingly, Rico was able to more or less maintain the fast pace. Rico was in superb condition, and his awkward rhythm worked in conjunction with sneaky attacks and physicality behind that unwavering will of a champion. Usyk at times was looking mighty confused and unsure of himself, and he was the one who appeared to be feeling the taxing pace at various points later in the contest. To date, Usyk has always excelled in the second half of a 12-rounder, where he is usually able to push the pace to something faster than guys like Fury and AJ preferred, but he never really did that here against Rico. Late in the 11th, Usyk had Rico buzzed, and during his follow-up he nailed him with an uppercut that sent Rico crashing down. He beat the count, he had to replace his mouthpiece, and when action resumed, Usyk aggressively went after him, and at almost the exact moment the round was ending, referee Mark Lyson jumped in to wave it off. The fight was over. It was an 11th round technical knockout for Oleksandr Usyk, and that was a controversial stoppage where many observers believe Rico should have been given the chance to get his minute rest before the 12th and final round, and that he deserved the opportunity to see it through and go out on his shield. At the time of the stoppage, after 10 rounds had been scored, 2 judges had it all even, and the other judge had Rico up 2. Those cards were perhaps a bit generous to Usyk, where the DAZN commentators and unofficial scorer Mike Coppinger had Rico up considerably going into the 11th. Personally, I think splitting the difference between Coppinger's score and the official cards was probably closer to the mark, in my humble opinion. But the official cards being what they were, Rico would have needed at least a knockdown of his own in the 12th to have a chance to win. But that doesn't erase the aura that the fight was stopped prematurely and that Rico deserved the chance to fight on and see it through. That perception that the ending was premature and controversial, it leaves us at a strange place. because Verhoeven certainly performed well enough that he deserves a rematch. But on the other hand, Kabayel is undoubtedly the most deserving challenger for Usyk right now. It almost reminds me of the situation we had with Fury versus Ngannou, where the MMA dude gave the heavyweight champion a strong enough challenge that Ngannou deserved a rematch. That was certainly true then, but the big fight to be made at that time was between Fury and Usyk, and thankfully that was next in line then. I feel like it's the same type of thing here. Against all odds, he gave Usyk such a stiff challenge that Rico is undoubtedly deserving of a rematch based on his strong performance, but at the same time, the fight for Usyk right now is against Kabayel. That's the best challenger he could defend against right now. And I think the fact that Rico did have success against Usyk amplifies this point, because Rico utilized an intelligent pressure style that involved a lot of body punching and physicality, which is kind of what Kabayel brings to the table. My opinion, Kabayel undoubtedly deserves the next crack at Usyk. No question about it whatsoever. Not only had Kabayel already earned his shot long before Usyk-Rico became a reality, but Kabayel also had to sit by idly and watch as Usyk had this crossover fight against an undeserving challenger. Undeserving in the sense that Rico clearly hadn't earned it. While Rico might now deserve a rematch based on the strength of his performance against Usyk in a losing effort, there is no question in my mind that Kabayel's right to challenge Usyk still supersedes Rico's right now. Kabayel had that beautiful 3-fight winning streak against Arslan Bekmambetov, Frank Sanchez, and Big Bang Jong, and he is proven to be a unique player on the heavyweight landscape, where he consistently attacks the body like no one else out there today. That always made him an interesting and potentially dangerous opponent for Usyk, and it is also the one fighter out there right now that could potentially do the most to enhance Usyk's heavyweight legacy. Congratulations to Oleksandr Usyk on his victory. Even when things often weren't going his way in this one, he hung in there and found a way to win. And Rico put up one hell of an effort. I think he obviously won the admiration of the entire boxing world, where many of us had no idea what to expect from him, and he proved an awful lot in this one where I think he exceeded almost everyone's expectations. It was a hell of an effort from Rico, no question. But the one fight that could be made at heavyweight right now that I am personally most interested in, that's simple for me. Oleksandr Usyk versus Agit Kabayel. Let's rock, bring it on. What did you think of Usyk's victory against Rico? And which would you rather see next? A rematch against Rico or a fight between Usyk and Kabayel? Please let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful night. This is Rummy's Corner.